Hey, it's the Road Show. Gang's all here. It's about 100 degrees in my garage in Denver. What about where you guys are today?
England's pretty humid. Thunder.
Yeah.
It's sun's out. I'll still take it though.
You
So
said you've got a dog under your desk there.
he's gone now.
He's
He's
gone
phased
now.
out
Okay.
some treats, so he was cowering
Yeah.
away
It is
from the
warm
thunder.
here.
Yeah,
in Southern California.
What about Northwest, West Coast? Yeah, it's just what it is.
it's California. Yeah, move on. So.
Right.
Tiny violin and all that. Dan, what about by you?
It's pretty nice and sunny. We had
Pretty
rain at
nice.
the beginning of the week, but
Okay.
which was a welcome. But yeah, it's good.
Well,
We got to record that clip. Okay, so we are recording the clip. Replay it in January for him. I said it's raining, but it was a welcome change. It's like, but you said. So
that's right.
it's going to be your soundbite now.
I'm not
Right,
looking forward to January.
Me
It's
either.
cold, dark, miserable. I'll go to California.
Well, that was when I used to go to California and watch Supercross in Anaheim Stadium, and obviously live there and now come back. I'm like, can I justify going back again in January? It's like, I've got to get my post or something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm just remote.
There's
in
an important
California.
letter waiting for me.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
January's a remote month.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we all will be in California soon. 2 weeks from yesterday, at the time of recording. It's getting real, guys. It's time to put pen to paper, agenda, and all that, and it's just 1,000 moving parts. But it's going to be great.
Well, we got some. We got the contributor credentials. Tricky to say.
Yeah.
For Laguna Seca, so that's
Yeah.
going to be amazing. It's the who's who is going to be there.
Yep.
Can't wait. It's going to
Can't
be
wait.
old and new cars. Amazing. So.
I feel like so many people, this is going to be their first year at Car Week. I have had so many people reach out to me on
Really?
Instagram saying, let's try to get together because this is my first year too. So I feel like something is in the air this year where people just felt,
Yeah.
you know what, this is the year. I'm not going to wait another year. I'm going to spend the money. Life is short. We're going to do this.
Post-COVID.
and make it count. So
That's the way
I think
we do
that's
it now.
it. I think that's it. That and every time I look in the mirror, I've got more gray hairs in the beard. So
And then we've all
it's
got to pay
my
our
own little
credit card
hourglass.
bill. Yeah,
What's that?
clock's ticking. Well, we've all got to pay our credit card bills later in the year. So,
Oh my God, I know.
yeah.
There's that.
max
The
it
good
while
part
you
is
can.
that's right. We've been able to spread out the expenses a little bit. I feel like with the hotels. That deposit went through 3 months ago, so
Yeah.
Right.
it doesn't hurt quite so much. But I want to come back to that because there are some cars that we think may be announced, released, unveiled at Car Week this year. I'm going to make this brief, I swear, but I took delivery of a new car yesterday. It's
And it's a
amazing.
Rivian, right? You got a Rivian.
We tried.
Yeah.
I was going to say, look,
Rivian, we put it out there, and you were slow in coming back. So
well, next time. It's only a 27-month lease, so. But you can't even see the thing because it's honestly not much taller than the GT4. But we did get the Polestar 2. It's a beautiful.
I
dark
thought you
blue
would have been
color.
doing it in the car this week.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do. It's not
Next
quite the
week.
Rolls Royce, right? That that Spike. Is it going to have the same draw and a Polestar too? I'm not sure, but it's a nice car, guys. I've totally talked about this before when we were thinking about buying it. It's definitely a financial decision. They're giving away these leases. I guess if I really was a cheapskate, I would have bought one of the $9 Nissan Leafs they're apparently giving away here in Colorado.
But
True
there's
story.
a bar, and
There is but
Yeah,
this
you
thing's
have
got
some
420
self-respect.
horsepower.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit, It's, I think, 540 pound-feet of torque, so the thing is quick. There is a certain pleasure to be gained from, the 2-1 merge, thing and coming out on top. The car's a little odd because we picked it up and we're driving it around. We went to dinner last night out in Golden, if you know Colorado, and we thought, this is a really firm ride. Like this doesn't seem like the car we test drove. And we had dinner, and I was totally stressing about it. I'm like, oh, God, we made a huge mistake here. This is not, we didn't get the performance model. It's got the regular 19-inch wheels and everything. Came home and realized they had the air pressure in the tire up to 70 PSI.
Oh, my gosh.
And they're supposed to be closer to 40, which is also high, but heavy car and all that. So once we made that change, the car is a lot more enjoyable. Some strange little quirks about the car. It's got Apple Play, but that's got to be plugged in. That's got to be wired. Everything else is wireless, but Apple Play, I think because it's a Google driven system. Also some strange things. The stereo is crap. We have the base stereo. There was a Harman Kardon upgrade, which was also crap, so we didn't feel like that was that important, but a little disappointed in the stereo. Also, there is a fader in the stereo, like every stereo since, I don't know, beginning of time, that has front and back speakers.
Yep.
But it doesn't actually let you fade. It lets you turn the front and or back speakers on or off. It doesn't actually let you get so what a bizarre little omission, right? That seems like it could be a software update. But cool car, nice car. I don't think it's as fun to drive as like a dual motor Model 3. This is the dual motor Polestar 2.
Have you done a standing start yet? Have you done your launch?
I have. I think it's about 4.1, 4.2. So not quite as fast as the dual motor, but I think pretty close. It's pretty
exciting though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still. I mean, that's that kind of gets old after a while, but it's you do have that in your back pocket. It's kind of a one-trick pony, right? It is not a sports car, but it does obviously accelerate quickly, like most electric cars. It's a good car. I think it'll be good for what it is, which is an appliance car, school runner, grocery getter, all the rest, and it's a nice space. It's your Volvo Swedish, little dour, but a nice space. So I think we made the right choice. 200 and. I was wrong. I think I said it was 194. I think in the end it ended up being $217 a month, but it's a 10,000 mile a year lease. So we don't ever drive 10,000 miles. And I mean, beat that. What else can you do for $200 a month?
Your bourbon habit. So
that's okay. Strangely, the bourbon habit kind of tapered off after the steering committee. So I think part of the problem is we're recording this at 11 in the morning here at Denver time. So,
no one needs to know that. It's okay.
That's right. That's right.
This is a safe space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How about those rankings on the charts though, guys? We're still hanging in there, which is kind of amazing. So we appreciate
it's addictive, isn't it? It's
it is. I check every morning. First,
yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't want to call it a bad habit, but it's something that will become part of your day moving forward. But
being an engineer, I love data, and it's all about because this is all a big experiment for all of us. We're trying different things, and we just discussed a few more ideas before. And it's okay. What if we do this, and what if we do that? And Freddie obviously was a hit. The noise in social media was. I actually thought for the first time in my life, like last few years anyway, for social media, I think I might take the Roadshow Instagram account off my phone because it was just every couple of seconds it was pinging. So I thought, and you wake up, and there's like 100+ messages to scan through because you obviously don't want to miss out anything. A lot of people reached out and asked questions, so just the noise in social media was fantastic. So we've set a bar. Andrew Marriott's coming or recorded, and that'll go out. So again, it's all just you do different bits and pieces and see how people respond to it. I will apologize for episode 3 and my audio. We had a lot of technical issues, and boy, have people told me about that one. So I apologize. Hang in there. It gets better. So
they're keeping us honest, right?
Well,
you can't hide when you put yourself out there in the public.
Yeah,
you're not your own anymore.
So far the comments, I haven't seen a bad comment. I do hope more of you listening take the time to review, rate, and all that, because that goes a long way for us too, and just visibility and the algorithms and all the other stuff. I'm not sure what those words mean exactly, but I know that they're important. So
we appreciate the time for sure.
Yeah. Thanks. Because what's the phrase? You have a lot of choices in car podcasts, and we appreciate that you make the time for us. So
we're in the mix with a lot of good company, which is
we really are
blowing my mind.
We really are. It's a good place to be. So hey, back to Car Week and the cars we think we might see unveiled while we're there. Dan, what's at the top of your list?
Yeah, so Car Week's obviously a pivotal moment in the car calendar, and a lot of car companies choose to launch their cars there. So Quail is usually the number one spot for the kind of main launches, although, sometimes there are private launches, etc. Right. And Lindsay, you went to a private launch last year, was that right?
Remind me which one you're referring to.
The Mustang, was it Mustang last year that was...
Yes.
Just another launch. It's all just blends into one. So
who can keep track, really? No, that's funny.
Yeah.
I was just watching the videos that I took at the launch this morning, and refreshing my memory of what Jim Farley had said at the time when they revealed it. And what was so interesting about that one was that they were taking the race car and homologating it for the street, as opposed, and making it more intense in the road car, which is the opposite from the way that the manufacturers usually handle things. And just, that was, like he said at the time, it was such a right turn away from Shelby for the company. But I'm
Yeah.
so excited. It was such a momentous occasion for the company and in the history, and just so cool to see that. And I'm so excited to see where they go from here.
Yeah.
Did you know in advance what was going to be launched? Did you just get an invite to the Mustang GTD, or how did it work?
So we did not know what it was called. And what was funny is the more people I talked to, as we got closer to it, people seemed to get more nervous. There were a couple people that I knew what it was, and they were very, very careful to just say, "You're going to love it. It's so exciting." You can't say anything.
Very cool.
And then when we got to the event, one of the Ford communications team had a button down with GTD embroidered on it, but his jacket was covering. And even at the event, before they unveiled the car, he went, "I can show you the logo, but very quickly." And I can't tell you anything
He's
else.
Superman or something. I love it.
Yeah,
I think we have
but it
a
made it
few-
really fun, and so it was a fun build up. Then when they finally revealed the car, because they did a good job. They had two walls that they pulled apart, and the car was sitting there, and it was really cool.
So everyone's response and emotion was real. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
leaked out. It was very very well locked down. So you're
Right.
saying that people's reactions were genuine. So if it's positive, it was wow, that's amazing.
Right. It
Can't
was
fake
it
that.
was
Yeah.
authentic in the moment, like you said. Yeah.
It's not like you're opening a present from like a cousin at Christmas and you go, that's great.
Oh,
Or like
yeah.
opening the present that you picked out
That's
yourself.
what I needed.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, the way you describe that, Lindsay, reminds me, I think we're all old enough to remember when David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear. And then it was revealed that they just rotated the base that the cameras in the audience were on. Do you remember that? Maybe it's just me. But anyway, it's,
All
yeah,
smoke
that
and mirrors,
energy,
guys.
I mean, that's
Old
right.
smoke
Except for that launch, right? That was the real
Right.
deal. Yeah, you can't fake the funk, So, what are we excited for this year? You had seen a couple of the cars that might be quote unquote launched in California at Goodwood recently, Dan.
Yeah, so
And-
I think the M5 will be launched during the week, and I guess this is one example where the estate looks better than the sedan.
Isn't that always
was
the
at
case?
Goodwood. True, maybe. Did you see it, Alan, at Goodwood?
Yeah, I caught a glimpse of that. I like it.
I do as well. In touring format as in estate.
Yeah.
I think it looks good.
It's
Lamborghini.
9,000 pounds, though, right? I mean, that's a heavy car.
Yeah, it's super heavy.
Yeah.
Lamborghini are going to be, I believe, we'll see, but I believe Lamborghini are going to show their replacement for the Huracan, which will be a hybrid.
So
that should be cool.
through a friend, I know that Lamborghini are coming out in force. So they're definitely
Nice.
got something to talk about. So
And
watch this
maybe
space.
a hybrid SUV. Did you hear that one from Lamborghini?
I didn't hear that. No.
Yeah. So they've put pretty much the engine and the hybrid unit in a Porsche. So the new Cayenne GT that Harry Metcalf reviewed a couple of weeks ago is the kind of Porsche version of that, the Porsche flavor. So I think Lamborghini will be launching something. We'll see in a few weeks' time, and this is live. But yeah, so that should be cool.
Yeah.
And the other one, Maserati seems to launch cars at Car Week. And if you've been, you'll know that they've got this prominent house on 18 Mile Drive. So you usually slow down when you get to their house. All the manufacturers tend to take houses. So the people who own the houses move out, pay them stupid amounts of money to kind of rent the house for the week. So the rumor is that they've got a GT3 RS rival coming to Car Week.
So let me tell you a story about Bathurst in Australia. So I went out as a guest of Holden. We're looking to do a partnership for the British GT on a car. And they said, yeah, come out. We've got a hotel. We'll put you up. We'll loan you a Monaro, the coupe. And I thought, fantastic. Got there, went into the hotel, or actually motel, and I heard a knock on the door. It was horrendous weather. It thundered and chucked it down with rain all night. And sort of early in the morning, the next door, a room, knocked on the door, opened it up, and he said, mate, is that your car out there? I was, yeah, I have the blue car. And he said, you might want to have a look. Went out, and it was no wheels on it. And so it was on a jack on one side in the center and a spare wheel on the other side, and the wheels were boosted, were stolen. So I called the police, and I know we're PG-13, we try to be, I know I'm a big advocate for that, but I rang the police. I thought I better get an incident report, and the policeman went, effing bastards. So it's nice to get that response from police. He was like on my side. Yeah. And so he came out, gave us the incident report. I rang Holden. I said, hey, listen, bit of a problem, but the wheels have been stolen off your car. And they went, oh, not again. I went, what do you mean again? And it happened last year as well. I said, do you stay in the same hotel every year? And he went, yeah, it's a tradition. I was like, well, the thieves know exactly where you're going to be and when you're going to be there. So, yeah. And then one of the mechanics bought out, there was a Holden ute race at Bathurst, and it was a 30-minute race, and they bought out, there's a famous racing driver in Australia called Peter Brock, and his son, James, I think he was first or third in this 30-minute ute race around Bathurst, and the mechanic took his wheels off because they put different wheels on for transport, bought those wheels to us. So they were slicks, and put them on our car. And we had a 10-hour drive home afterwards. And halfway home, it rained. It was the scariest drive ever, because going through mountainous elevation with slick tires in Australian or Colorado style rain.
Yeah, yeah. You live to tell about it.
Yeah, but we definitely, every time it was dry, they definitely got lit up. It was great fun.
I bet.
So.
Has anyone on this call? Yeah, right.
Sorry, Lindsay?
No, you took full advantage, which I'm glad to hear. Also, I'm fascinated that Australia has their own version of Peter Brock, because we have a Peter Brock here who designed the Daytona Coupe. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, what year was that? We'll come back. There's another episode. I wonder whether this chap was named after him. So you don't know.
Ooh.
I was going to ask if anyone on this call has been the victim of this. Have any of you ever come out, with your personal car and the wheels have been gone? Every once in a while I'll see this just around Denver, and I'm thinking, wheel locks.
What wheels that were stolen off of the trailer, but they weren't taken directly off of the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Dan, Seattle's rough and tumble.
I haven't. I haven't had. I guess the wheels I've had on my cars haven't been expensive enough to take.
I was going to say maybe just the level of car we're driving is so rubbish.
Well, I feel like I'm probably pretty safe with this Polestar, for example. It's funny when you buy a Porsche, it does come with wheel locks. Polestar, I don't think it comes with those automatically. So I'm glad to hear that, because honestly, that would devastate me, because it's not just the fact that your wheels are gone. To your point, Alan, it's usually up on a rim and a cinder block, and it's kind of just the whole just sort of kick to the gut about the whole thing, it's
it's not done.
I felt super bad. Yeah, but hearing that policeman say effing bastards,
we need more of that.
It makes me feel better that you're on my side, because in England you ring the police, they're like, we'll send somebody out and we'll check it out, and they never turn up. So
hey, can I circle back to that Huracan replacement? You said it's got a hybrid powertrain. So what are we talking about exactly? We still have the V10, yeah?
I think they dropped the V10 down to a V8.
They did, okay.
I think. I might be wrong. This is kind of speculating.
Need a fact checker,
Yeah. I don't think we get V10 anymore in a Lambo.
Yeah, okay. All right, curious. Because, that is their bread and butter car. You see, at least where I go, about 10 of those, right? For every V12 model, they're.
But I wonder if the typical Lamborghini owner cares in the nicest possible way. We would care about a V10 noise, wouldn't we? But who buys Lamborghinis these days, and do they care about what engine's in it?
Good
That's a
question.
great question. I am. Oh, yeah, you're correct. They are ditching the V10 for a V8. So
Yeah, I was just really googling that myself really bad.
yeah, if only there was a machine, right, that we could ask.
Yeah.
But
Or
it's
we
got
just
more
did our
power.
homework beforehand. I don't want anyone thinking that we're a polished outfit here. So
And would that affect your decision, the four of us on this call? I mean, assuming one of us was, or you were in the market to buy a
people buy
Huracan
Lambos
replacement?
because of the noise. They obviously love it, but I think
Yeah,
they would be okay with it if it still was a screamer, and
yeah.
it is still high RPM,
That's
revving
right. I
engine.
think it's a
So,
very high RPM.
yeah,
I think we touched on that in an earlier episode. Like, how do they actually accomplish that without the thing like detonating, right? Detonating.
disintegrating. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it would absolutely factor into it for me, right? I mean, it wouldn't be the same. I don't know that it would be a deal killer, especially, once you took it out and you realized it was, that much more powerful or capable. But I don't know. These are things you consider. I mean, it's look at Porsche GT cars. I mean, they would never put famous last words, right? A four-cylinder turbo in a GT car, right? A GT product. So I don't know.
Remaking predictions now.
Yeah. I mean, that's such like the Lamborghini, to your point, right? I mean, the car is so, that's an engine. I mean, it's built around the engine, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's the 10 or the 12. So I don't know. You know what? They're going to sell every one, so it doesn't matter. But
Yeah, I'd be
to see.
curious to know how it's tuned. How much of a difference do you actually notice or experience?
Yeah. They're going to get the sound right, to your point, Alan. So
Yeah, 100%. But I know someone who's doing an MBA, and they did some stuff with Lamborghini, and they did some of the had some conversations with the sales team about how they manage the specking of the cars, and when they ask for payment and all those sort of boring things, and they basically don't. They sort of spec it up for very little money, and then it's built, and if they don't like it or don't want it, Lamborghini at that point don't care, because there's somebody else that'll take it no matter what spec it is. There's weird and wonderful tastes out there. So yeah, they sell them all, I'm sure.
Lamborghini usually have a fantastic house at Car Week. So it's right near the lawn on Pebble Beach. And a few years ago, I was at one of the parties there, and talk about sort of people watching. I'd managed to get in thanks to Lincoln at the Peterson, so shout out to Lincoln. But we were stood in the corner and looking over. There was, at the time, the CEO, Stefano De Macali, who now works for
The
Liberty.
industry's best dressed man.
He's a smart Italian man, isn't he? Next to him was Jean Todt. So I think he was the chair of the FIA at the time. I'm not sure if he still is. But it was an amazing people watching event. And what I discovered that night is I don't fit in a Lamborghini convertible.
I was going to say,
regardless of-
did you put a vest on and just stand out the front saying keys, please, sir? Or something?
Not that night,
What
but that was a good way to get money the other nights. Yeah, I managed to snip through the net and get in. So
Yeah.
it was cool.
Dan, you make a good point, because I don't know that I fit in a Lamborghini literally or figuratively, right? And maybe more importantly, the last part, right? Like, this is strictly a theoretical conversation, because I love Lamborghinis. I appreciate them. Maybe there will be a point in my life where that is kind of what I'm going after. But I mean, is this a car any of us would ever cross shop with, a fancy 911 like Alan's, or is
Yes.
I mean, given that we had the money and we had an allocation, is this a car we'd actually buy?
Yes.
You would. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because
I
the
think deep down
experience
inside, maybe
of-
I would too. That's,
Well, even if you didn't hang on to it for very long, the experience of having
Yeah.
and owning it is such a bucket list
check that
item.
box.
And to know that you had reached that level in your life where that was something you could do, like that's such a tangible
Yeah.
marker of like, look what I've accomplished.
Right.
I was going to buy one. I was going to buy a Huracan, and I went and test drove it. And when I walked up, it was bright orange, and I thought, I'm not sure about that. Got in it, started driving it, and I got to an intersection, and it was a pretty warm day. Window was down. Hear the sound, soak it all up, and got to the lights, and the sales lady who was with me, she said, "Close your window," and I went, "Oh, why? What's going on?" She said, "People will talk to you every junction. Just keep your window shut and keep moving." And she was right, every junction. And one goes, "Hey, nice car," and I'm like, "Hey, thank you very much." And I was like having a conversation, and she's like, "Keep the window up, otherwise we'll never get the test drive over." So, and when I got back,
Fun for 5 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But it was a great experience. It wasn't the heavy car that I thought it was going to be, and we're told that early Lambos were, but it was a great experience. But
What
still a bit too rich for my blood.
What's different about a Ferrari customer versus a Lamborghini customer? Because
Do you want to use the original quotes?
please.
It's what was for Ferrari is for people who want to be somebody, and Lambos was for people who are already somebody.
And where did that originate?
That were the owners, Enzo and
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So
Yeah,
that
Those are
was
the
that
official
was their
factory
quotes.
lines.
that's amazing. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I think still holds true, right? So interesting. Can I circle this back to you mentioned the as you call it, the estate, the wagon for the rest of us, the new M5, and I mentioned that generally when a car is turned into a wagon, I mean, has it ever not made the car more appealing? Has there ever been a bad wagon versus the sedan that it was based on?
Yes, but I can't.
I feel
think
like
of-
it's a better car every time it happens.
Well, it's funny because in the UK in the 90s, they took the Volvo wagon and took it racing.
Was that
Remember that?
the yeah,
Yeah,
the
V70?
V70 or
Yeah.
Yeah, the V70R, or maybe the 850R, and Tom Walkinshaw Racing got hold of it and put it up against all these super saloons.
right.
So-
It was a good looking thing. Yeah.
And it was pretty fast, but it. So I do know a little bit about that car, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying these things. But within the rules, it can be so much because when you make a production car, there's a tolerance, and so the rule book said it could be within 5% of the width and 3% of the length because obviously it's longer. So trying to control how much it can actually float, and so they built the car from panels that were they basically created when panels are stamped the tool has a stop to it and after X number, let's call it 100,000, those stops slowly wear out and so the panels get thinner, and so they took those panels the end of stamping durational run. Then they put them in a chemical bath called chemical milling. And so over time, it eroded that down so it was as thin and as light as
Amazing.
it needed to be and could be. Then they hand built the car, absolutely 3% narrower and 5% longer. So they hand built the car to those specs.
Wow.
And then there's a minimum weight, and you want the weight to be as low as possible. So they put 3 floor stampings together. So when you get underneath the car, it looked like a floor stamping. From inside the car, it looked like a floor stamping. But that's where all the weight was, low down, and
That's
obviously
amazing.
nested together nicely. So those cars were specials. Tom Walkinshaw was a very shrewd team owner. So
Nice.
He famously raced the Jaguar XJ, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yeah.
He raced a number of Jaguars, didn't he? He was Jaguar was one of the staples that he partnered with, and because he actually built the XJ220s.
yeah,
that's
so,
right. That's right.
as well.
That's right.
At a factory in Bloxham.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah, it's
but it was a V6 instead of a V12.
yes.
So very
Weren't those
controversial.
the ones to get? It was the V6 was always the one to get in those older Jaguars.
So they did a twin turbo V6 of it, I think, from memory, wasn't it? The XJ220, and I believe that's all they made.
Oh,
but-
right, for the XJ220, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was a derivative from a Group B rally car, the engine.
Interesting.
So the Metro 6R4 had the engine before. We're getting really geeky, aren't we? But
We certainly are. But don't worry,
love
I've
it.
got a friend, Mark Anderson. He's going to pick me up on this when the episode goes out and correct
Right on.
me. So
yeah.
be gentle on me, Mark.
And if you want to buy one, now's the time. Hagerty just released their sort of their biggest winners and losers of the collector car market. Did you all see this? And I was more interested in the losers, obviously, than the winners, because I'm thinking, well, maybe there's something in there I can pick up. But unfortunately, one of them
Right.
was the XJ220. I think the prices were down 12 or 14%. Another was the Jaguar, the old XK140, which we see a lot of in the Grand each year. So I don't know. Maybe that's a semi-realistic grand car goal for me. But you have to wonder when so few cars are being traded, something like an XJ220, like, you know, they're how they decide that that's a loser. But maybe as a group, you know, this is probably not. But you know, we could put a roadshow livery on the side and call it a day.
Oh, you were asking for a donation, were you? So, hang on a second.
Yeah, I could use a donation or two right now, but it's
Plan RS, one of those.
right. We could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, this is going to be a short show today, unfortunately, but sometimes it's just how timing works out and all that. Some news today that we all took note of, some sad news, and that was that Nicole Ryan passed away. I don't think any of us on this call knew Nicole particularly well, but I think everyone listening knew of her and how
Right.
important she and Jay Ryan, her husband, were and are to just the enthusiast scene, especially out in California. They're the ones that ran the Good Vibes Breakfast Club, which we've all been to, I think, except for maybe you, Ellen. But we're going to change that. And Lindsay, you were more of a regular, so
Right. And
it was
like you said, you know, I was lucky to spend time with them over the last few years. And I think we've all, you know, benefited from their impact on the car community, and the good vibes have spread, you know, our people come from around the world to experience it. So we,
Yeah.
you know, Nicole's legacy will live on, but we will miss her and keeping Jay in our thoughts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, incredibly sad.
Yep. And, you know, obviously, you know, the story of Good Vibes is cemented in this recent issue of Road and Track, right? The cover story and
Right.
all that. So it was a pretty cool tribute. So thank you for all your contributions, you know, Nicole and Jay, and peace to you, Jay. So I think that's it for us today. We've got some planning to do for Car Week and all that. And we've, you know, to your point, Ellen, we've got some amazing episodes coming up. So stay tuned. Please do follow us, subscribe, rate and review, all the rest on social media, on the podcast platforms. It does go a long way, like we've said again and again. I think we'll leave it at that. And until next time, we're The Road Show. Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Great to see
Thanks.
everybody.